Big Frida's partner of over 20 years, Devin Hurst, has passed away. For those of you who have watched this show, you know Devin was Frida's pride and joy. Even through the ups and downs, she had pure loyalty. She took to Instagram to share her heartfelt condolences. Apparently his death was linked to diabetes complications. My condolences to Big Frida. You already know.
Big Freedia just went through something no one ever wants to face, the kind of pain that takes your breath away. The funeral for Devin Hurst left everyone in deep sorrow, the kind that wraps around you like a heavy fog. You could feel the sadness in the air, and for many, it was too much to bear. But before we go into the emotional service that left everyone completely silent,
so we will share a couple. What the what? Frida's my woman, my diva, my queen.
let's take a step back and talk about the love that made this loss so heartbreaking. Devin wasn't just Big Freedia's partner, he was her heart, her rock, and her peace. He was the one who stayed close when the world felt too loud. Through fame, struggles, and personal storms, they stayed together. Behind every headline and every performance, there was a quiet love holding her up. That was Devin. Their relationship wasn't loud or flashy.
I'm really worried. I'm concerned that he's not okay. Miss Thing, I'm about to wreck him for the last time.
It wasn't something put on display for attention. It was real. Freedia would sometimes share little pieces of their love story, how Devin would hold her hand when things got hard, or how he stayed solid through her biggest wins and darkest days. One of those painful moments was when she lost her mother. Devin never left her side. That kind of support isn't something you find easily, and when you do, you hold on tight. Devin had been through hard times, too. He knew pain. In 2018, he survived after being shot multiple times. He didn't let that moment break him. It changed him. It made him see life differently. He became more spiritual and more aware of how precious time is. Freedia said that surviving that event brought them closer than ever. He wasn't in it for fame or spotlight. He never used her name to gain anything. He stayed in the background, quietly protecting her, helping her stay grounded. That kind of love doesn't just walk in and out of your life. It stays with you, and when it's taken away, the hole it leaves is impossible to fill. So when the news broke that Devin had passed away, no one could believe it. Big Freedia made the heartbreaking announcement on social media. She didn't give details about how or why. She just said enough for the world to know that her heart was shattered. In her post, she called Devin her protector, her love, and her baby. Her fans could tell that she wasn't okay. She admitted she couldn't function and that her world had stopped. For her, life without Devin didn't feel real. This wasn't just a breakup. This was losing her soulmate. She didn't speak much about what happened, and that silence only made the pain feel heavier for everyone who cared about her and Devin. The day of Devin's funeral arrived, and New Orleans, the city that shaped Big Freedia and witnessed their journey together, became the place where people came to say goodbye. The church was filled with family, close friends, members of the LGBTQ community, artists, fans, and people whose lives had been touched by Freedia and Devin's story. There were flowers lining the aisles. Soft music played in the background, and even though the church was packed, it felt quiet. Not just quiet in sound, but quiet in spirit. Everyone was waiting for Freedia to speak, waiting for the moment that might break them. And when she walked up to the front, you could feel the room holding its breath. She stood by Devin's casket, trying to find the strength to speak. Her voice cracked, her body shook. She didn't just shed a few tears, she fell apart right there, in front of everyone. The pain took over. She bent forward, unable to stand up straight. And the silence that filled the room wasn't uncomfortable. It was the kind that comes when pain is so loud. Words just disappear. People rushed to help her stand. Friends came to her side, holding her as she wept. And when she finally began to speak, no one expected what came next. She didn't have anything written down. There was no polished speech. Her words were raw, unfiltered, and full of truth. She talked about Devin's spirit, how peaceful he always was, how his energy made everyone feel safe. He never had to be the loudest person in the room, but you always felt his presence. Then she said something that made everyone start crying. He saved me more times than I can count. People in the crowd pulled out tissues. Others held each other tight. She remembered the first time they met and how he saw her for who she truly was, not just the performer, but the person underneath the makeup and music. She thanked him for loving her without ever trying to change her, for standing by her side through the chaos, for shielding her from harm when things got ugly. But what hit the hardest was how she ended her speech. Still shaking, she turned to face everyone and said, "I don't know how I'm going to keep going, but I know he would want me to, and I will for him." You could almost hear everyone inhale at once. That sentence cracked hearts wide open. That moment didn't just break people, it reminded them of Big Freedia's strength. Even in her deepest sorrow, she still stood tall and showed the world what real love looks like, what real loss feels like, and what true strength means. After the funeral, Freedia disappeared from the public eye for a while. And honestly, no one could blame her. She needed time. She canceled some appearances, let her team handle messages, and didn't pretend to be okay. There were no forced smiles, no fake "I'm fine." She surrounded herself with people who really knew her, those who knew Devin and understood her heartbreak without needing her to explain it. She barely posted on social media, and when she did, her messages were short but filled with emotion. Fans kept talking, though. They shared old videos, tribute posts, and sweet stories about her and Devin. Some fans had met them in person. Others had only seen their love from afar. But everyone felt connected to the grief. One person wrote, "I never met Devin, but I felt their love through every post and video." Another said, "Seeing Freedia break down reminded me of when I lost my partner. That pain is real, and she made us all feel seen." The support didn't just come from fans. Other artists, drag queens, singers, celebrities sent messages, flowers, and prayers. Some even paused their own work out of respect. Many encouraged people to donate to causes that Freedia and Devin supported. And slowly, Freedia started coming back, but quietly. No big announcement, no dramatic return, just small steps. But even then, it was clear that something had shifted. From the beginning, Freedia's journey hasn't been easy. As a queer artist in a space that often tried to shut her out, she fought for every bit of visibility she earned. She made space where there was none. She turned pain into power. She lifted others while carrying her own wounds. She did it after her mother, Vera, passed away, someone who meant everything to her. She did it after Hurricane Katrina destroyed her home and her city. And now, she's finding that strength again. Even if it looks different this time, nobody knows exactly what she'd do next. But fans are already guessing that her next album might be her most personal yet, not just dance tracks or bounce anthems, but songs about healing, heartbreak, and love that doesn't end just because someone is gone. This could be a turning point not just in her music, but in her legacy. Because Freedia has always stood for more than music. She represents survival, the kind that's messy and real. She's shown us that it's okay to hurt, to cry, to fall apart, and to rise again. Moving forward, she might take on even more. Maybe mentoring others. Maybe telling stories through writing or film. Maybe stepping into spaces that help people understand what grief really looks like. Whatever it is, it's clear, Devin's love will always be a part of it. He didn't just love her, he helped her shine. And now, carrying that light forward is part of the love they built together. Even if you didn't know Devin, you felt his presence through her. You felt the love. He didn't need to be loud or flashy. He just needed to be there. That kind of love stays with you, even after someone is gone. And that's why this loss hurts so many people. Freedia's story reminds us of something deep and human, that love, when real, leaves a mark. And when it's gone, we grieve not only for what was, but for what will never be again. But somehow, Freedia always turns grief into strength. Not because she wants to, but because she has to. Because she knows others are watching, and because she's never let pain define her, it's always pushed her to grow. As we close this story, we want to say this: if Big Freedia's journey touched you, if her strength moved you, or if you've ever lost someone who meant the world to you, please leave a kind message for her in the comments. She may not see everyone, but the love and support from people who care truly matters. This is more than just a celebrity tribute. This is about love, loss, and the strength to keep going. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next story.